Hello, and welcome to Focus Stacking, a toy photography tutorial, part 2. Now, if you're just joining us, I did do a part 1 of this tutorial, which could be found right here, where I go over the information of what focus stacking is and how to take the images. Now, for this video of part 2 of that tutorial, we're going to be taking the images that I taken in part 1, we're going to put them in the computer, and using Lightroom and Photoshop, we're going to then edit those images and produce a final image stack where the whole picture will be in focus. Now, let's go ahead and let's open up these images in Lightroom and Photoshop, and let's go ahead and make this image. Okay, as you can see, I have my photos imported into Lightroom. I like to use Lightroom for my initial editing. As you can see, I took 30 photos I got from the end of the stack to the front of the stack. And now when it comes to editing your photos before you put them into Photoshop to develop the final image stack, is you want to make sure that the edits you do are the same across all the photos, including cropping and everything like that. Now there's a really easy way to do that. As you can see right here, I already have all my edits that I did already. And what you could do is go ahead and just right click one of the images and click Development Settings and hit Copy Settings. Go ahead and you just copy everything that you did within that photo. So if you did a crop or anything like that, you go ahead and check this. I did not do a crop, however, so I just uncheck that. Hit Copy. Now what you do is you'll select this image, hold Shift, and select all your images, hit right click, Development Settings, and go in Paste Settings right here, and it will paste all those adjustments into all those images, and it'll edit all of your images exactly the same. So now from here, once we have the edited image the way we like it, now what we want to go ahead and do is we want to export all of these photos into a file that we can find and put it into Photoshop. So what I would like to do is you go ahead and select all of your photos, right? Right click, hit export, boom. Go ahead and you would then give your images a name, select a file that you can find, give your stuff a name. And what I like to do is I like to have the biggest JPEG possible when I'm doing just anything with my photos, because you can always downsize a file, but you can never really up a file size. You know, that makes sense. So I always like to just do the biggest JPEG file that I can do. So I won't resize to fit. I'll just do the resolution as 300 pixels per inch. And then you just go ahead and click export. And that is it on the Lightroom side of this tutorial. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of those images, and now we're going to head into Photoshop. So here we are in Photoshop. I went ahead and opened up Photoshop. Now what we have to do is we have to import all of those images that we saved in Lightroom and import them into Photoshop as a stack. Now the easiest way to do that, you can do it by uploading them each individually, but that takes a lot of time. But it's better just to do it all in one file. So all you have to do is go ahead and go to File, go to Scripts, go down to Load Files into Stack, hit Browse, select wherever you saved your images, and go ahead and select each one. So I had 30 images. Go ahead and hit OK. And it'll bring them all up into this area right here. And go ahead and hit Attempt to automatically align source images, which that will be, it will align the photos for us into the stack. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. And it'll just take a little while to load these all up. Alrighty. So as these images are loading up here, I like to take some time to say thank you guys for supporting the channel and watching the videos. It means a lot to me that you guys take the time to watch the videos and leave me feedback. And I'm really hoping you guys are enjoying the videos, as I really want to share the information that I have within photography with a lot of the newer photographers out there, because I was also in the same boat when I started my photography journey. My photography journey hasn't ended, but I like sharing the information and helping grow the community and really get this type of photography out there, as it's really fun and a good and in a cool way to expand on the hobby of if you're a toy collector, taking cool photos of your toys and things like that. So I would say thank you guys for watching the videos and supporting the channel. And if you guys want me to do anything specific as a tutorial or anything like that, please leave a comment down in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to do a video on that for you guys. So, okay, we're almost done here. Almost done aligning it. Now it's just aligning the layers and things like that. And there we go. Now they're all stacked on top of each other. So now from here is we want to go ahead and select all of these layers by holding Shift and clicking one, and then go ahead and click the other. All of them are selected here. So now from here is you go to Edit and Auto Blend Layers. So now we're going to actually do the stack. So that you can either do a panorama if you were doing it like horizontally and you had a lot of things in there. You can do it as a panorama, but in this case, we want to do it as a stacked image. So we're just going to keep these checked, the seamless tones and colors, and content aware for the transparent area. So sometimes if it shifts and stuff, it will fill in those gaps with some light part of your photo. So let's go ahead and then click OK. It's going to take a while for them. It's going to blend the layers together here. Dun, dun, dun. If you have a slower computer, this may take some time, so just be aware of that. It does take a while, and it also depends on how many images you take in. I take in 30, so it does take a lot of time, but if you do 10, 15, it won't take as long to load them up and get those. Now, I would have to say this is 30 images was a little overkill on my end, but that's just the success that I have found with my photography. Is 30 images are pretty good. Sometimes when I take it, I've taken 20 images and I was like, man, I really wish I had another 5. So then even then I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to take 30 because the camera shifts the focus for me. So it'll make those adjustments based on how many photos that I'm taking. Now, if you do it manually, I can see 30 images being a little intimidating, but 10 to 15 is a really good starting point for that. So let's go ahead and do that. And then these are also great. Like doing focus stacking is great for the people that own hot toys out there. And you guys like taking those awesome portraits of them. I've seen some really good hot toy portraits and they look great. Focus stacking is could be a huge tool for people that do that type of photography with their toys. As sometimes when using a macro lens, like me, I use a macro lens for majority of my photography work within toys. And sometimes when you focus in, the depth of field is so razor thin that even though you're like, oh, it's in focus, the macro focuses in so deep that you might even get some out of focus details, especially if you're using multiple figures and they're on different focal planes. But if you want to get everything in focus, focus stacking is a great tool to use for that, especially with macro lenses. It's not really that impactful when using maybe a 35 or an 85 or things like that, but you can still do focus stacking with those lenses. But it's really good for a macro lens. Really good. All right, so here we go. And there we go. There's the final stacked image. So now what you can see is it created all these masks. So what it did is what we just did, which was the edit and the auto blend layers, is it created masks for us that masks all the out of focus stuff and keeps the in focus stuff from that photo. So as you can see, if you did this manually, especially with 30 photos like I did, that's going to take a long time to do that. So Photoshop is awesome that they have this tool that allows us to do this automatically rather than manually, and gives us a really nice all in focused image. So, but that's it. So from here, this is it for the Lightroom and Photoshop end. So from here, you just go ahead and hit File, Export as a JPEG, PNG, whatever you're going to use it for. And there you go. You can share it with everyone. As you can see, focus stacking is a great technique for toy photographers, as it allows us to extend that depth of field and really get the whole image in focus to really enhance those storytelling details hidden within the image. Now, a couple of tips before I end the video here is tip number 1 is you want to find a way to stabilize the camera. Now, a tripod is essential for this type of photography as it keeps your camera in place so that way it doesn't move as you take the images. Now, you can, however, place it on a table and things like that, but if you're adjusting the focus ring manually, which most cameras will have to do it that way, it will shift the camera here and there. So a tripod is essential for this type of photography. Now, tip number 2 is patience. This type of photography and technique requires a lot of patience, as not all cameras have a focus shift mode that will take everything for you automatically, even adjusting the focus. Most of the time, most cameras, you will have to do it manually, which takes a lot of practice and patience to really master this type of technique. Now, tip number 3 is a remote shutter. You don't necessarily need one, but you will want to use either remote shutter or the timer on your camera, so that way you're not touching the camera as you're taking the photo, because even when pushing that shutter button, if you're on a tripod, it can shift the tripod and or camera without you really even knowing. It's such a small little detail, but it does end up misaligning the images. Well, that's going to do it for today's video. If you found it helpful, and I hope you did, please like and subscribe for more toy photography tutorials. If you guys like to check out my Instagram, my website, or check out all the gear that I use for my videos and photography, all of that will be linked down in the description below, so you guys can go check it out. As I stated before in the video, if you guys have any recommendations for a tutorial or want me to show you guys how to do something and make a video on it, please leave a comment down in the comment section down below, and I'll be happy to do a video of that for you guys. Well, I'm Brett England with Brett England Photography. Thanks for watching, keep taking photos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.